Okay, so I just want to go through this small little video that I've seen on the Conservatives Facebook page. I'm just basically doing it for a little bit of fun. It's nothing really that important, but I've been through a couple of the statistics, but I've not been through all of them. So that's what I want to do now, and just go a little bit off the cuff and a little bit actually still on the cuff. So anyway, I go through it now. Okay, so the Great Recession started in 2007, December 2007 to be precise. And in that month, the number of people that were in employment was this. Now, when David Cameron won the general election, well, he never got the majority, obviously. He needed his T-boy with Nick Clegg. The number of people that were in employment was this. Now, I do find it just a little bit fallacious when you've got this graph, haven't you? And it's doing one of these right the way down. And the difference in employment was 127,785. Okay, so the main bone of contention when it comes to this point is that even though jobs decreased quite a little, jobs in the full-time part of the labour market actually decreased quite a considerable amount, a lot more than just over 100,000. It was more like 800,000. And this got offset by an increase in part-time jobs. So what seemed to be happening at this point was that full-time jobs were getting turned into part-time jobs. Now, that is something of a concern because obviously you can't really live off a part-time job unless you've got a partner who's doing a full-time job. And yeah, I think that's all that needs to be pointed out, but I do think it's a little bit fallacious to have a graph that's going and showing actually a decrease that looks a bit more threatening than the reality of the situation. So anyway, let's get into it. Okay, sorry about this. Sorry for another cut, but I just have to mention that you have to take into account also that the population is increasing and also the active working age population is increasing. So the jobs need to increase with that. So if you have jobs just being stagnant or if they're going down a little bit more than what just the numbers show, because you have to take a percentage and you have to divide this by the active working age population. Now, I'm not going to do that because this video is not actually going on about the percentages, but if you want to do that yourself, work it out, feel free. Okay, so when the Tory-led coalition government came into power, the number of people in employment was this. And by the latest count, the number of people in employment was this. Now, obviously, again, we have to take in that the population has increased and the active working age population has increased as well. But, yeah, their numbers seem to be right. There's just under 3 million people in employment. Now, I know what people are going to say. What about zero-hour contracts? But the majority of this increase seems to be in full-time employment, and not many zero-hour contracts offer full-time employment, and if they do, there's not really a problem with them. So, and the majority of this increase is in fact in full-time employment. Actually, just over 2 million. In fact, just under 2.5 million. So, yeah, the zero-hour contract hypothesis doesn't really work here.